stand here before you extremely humbled and yet so deeply gratified for this incredible honor bestowed upon me by MegaFest Zimbabwe. In a year, I guess we'd all like to disappear as quickly as possible. The mere fact that we are gathered here today is in itself a minor miracle. In a year in which our kids never went to school, where families didn't meet for weddings and social gatherings, where businesses were shut, and in a year in which we genuinely feared for the safety and well-being of ourselves as well as our loved ones. The reality that we are gathered here tonight, my dear friends, is nothing short of remarkable. So as we consider this point and render our abundant thanks and prayers to our good Lord, who has kept us safe during these turbulent times, let's ask ourselves what's in store for us in the next chapter of the days of our lives. The answer lies within all of us, as only we have the power to determine where exactly we are going. Only we can determine how successful we are going to be, and only we can determine our futures. It's very easy, it really is very easy to lay back and blame failure on a multitude of reasons, ranging from COVID itself, from the perpetual drought that we seem to have in this country, and of course, pretty easy to blame the government. But that's a cop-out. That's the easy excuse. That's a recipe for disaster and failure. If that's the attitude, it'll take us on the road to nowhere very, very quickly and force us to settle permanently for mediocrity and the label of being second best. And ladies and gentlemen, second best, you're certainly not. Tonight you sit here all gorgeously groomed and tucked out, not just to attend any random arbitrary dinner, not just to be a part of some Mickey Mouse tea party, not just to tick the register at your friend's end of year bash, but rather to celebrate your part of an elite group of highly successful businessmen and businesswomen who have during the past year scaled lofty heights and excelled, leading to your recognition at these highly acclaimed business awards. This is not something you should take lightly, not something you should just dismiss as some small accolade handed out for fun, and certainly not something that every businessman and woman is able to achieve during their careers. On the contrary, what you have all achieved during the past year is not only positively outstanding, but a platform to henceforth go forward and attain permanent levels of achievement and excellence. As business leaders converge here tonight, my message to you is a simple yet far-reaching one. Understand that each of you is armed with extraordinary ability, amazing skills, and complemented by a steely Bulawayo resilience.
Wow.
Use such attributes to venture forward and turn our city into the breadbasket of the region, into the industrial hub of our country, and into the business capital of our nation. I implore you not to be discouraged, not to look at me like I'm a strange loony character, not to consider my request or wish as abnormal or overly ambitious or unrealistic. Rather, I urge you to seize the moment, seize the day, grab the bull by the horns and use your opportunity to expand your business. Rather, I ask you to think out of the box, place your brain on high alert, and in the process, to fashion business ideas that will catapult you, and in the process, all of us, to another level totally. Talking of brains, I was privileged recently to be a part of a judging panel adjudicating the school's business competition organized by a group called Imagination. I must admit to being blown away by the invention, by the resourcefulness, and the business acumen of these young school kids. I left there feeling confident that our country has a bright future indeed. But these are kids, and they've got a long way to go. You guys, on the other hand, have already made huge sacrifices and climbed big mountain peaks to get to where you are. I would like to suggest, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, quite honestly, you're only getting started.
All right.
When I was a young schoolboy, the movie Cry Freedom was being shot in Bulawayo. I remember being surprised that they had chosen our city to film. I later found out that the real reason was that Bulawayo in the 1980s closely resembled Johannesburg in the 1960s.
All right.
Wow,
All right.
Imagine that.
All right. All right.
Bulawayo being used to depict Africa's most economically vibrant city and metropolis, will be 20 years later.
Okay.
The message, though, is loud and crystal clear. Bulawayo, not so long ago, was a regional powerhouse. And I say, ladies and gentlemen, with our strategic location, our excellent infrastructure, our abundance of mineral resources right on our doorsteps, and a highly skilled workforce, we can remake our city. We have the tools to take our city back where it belongs. Now, we must add dollops of courage and toughness. Now we must add the brawn to our brains and make enough bread to feed our country and, in fact, the rest of Africa.
Right.
This is our time.
Yes.
This is your time, ladies and gentlemen. This is not the time to rest on your laurels. This is the time to be proactive. This is not the time to cave in and give in to your fears and worries. Rather, this is the time to cement your position and look to strengthen it.
That's it.
When you look back at the year 2020, I want you to promise me that you will not remember it as the year that the world came to an end, but rather as the year that you started your next giant business crusade to economic power. In conclusion, I wish to take inspiration from the legendary American civil rights leader, Martin Luther King. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Now is the time to lift our city from the quicksands of economic impoverishment to the solid rock of economic prosperity. It is fatal for us all to overlook the urgency of acting now. 2020 is not an end, but a beginning.
That's it.
We must act, though, legally, and not be guilty of wrongful deeds,
All right.
but conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline.
All right.
I also have a dream.
All right.
It's our dream. I have a dream that one day even the city of Bulawayo will be transformed into an oasis of economic strength and prosperity. I have a dream that we will all work together,
Right.
struggle together,
Yes.
pool all our skills and strength together for our common good. And when this happens, all of us in the city, ladies and gentlemen, when this happens, all of us in the city, black, white, brown, men, women, and children, will be able to join hands and sing a beautiful chorus line. What a beautiful chorus line. Rich at last, and God Almighty, we are rich at last.
Bravo, bravo, bravo.